because I'm not actually gonna simulate. That does take a little bit of time. So let's go straight into what are we gonna do to do this bottom area. So we're gonna be doing a horizontal roughing. And you may ask why you're gonna do roughing. I'm gonna explain that to you. So for horizontal roughing, okay, we're going to, first off, we do want to put the mask on. Let's save that a second. Okay, so we don't mask those holes. You should have that masking on anytime you do roughing. And if you're going to do any finishing here, obviously you don't want to go down in those holes. Okay, so let's go back over here, the horizontal roughing. Okay, so we don't really need to select anything. This is similar to what we did for our first horizontal roughing. Okay, so for the tool is going to be our corner radius mill. So this has the diameter of this corner radius mill is 375. So you got a corner radius of 125, which is the same as the 1/4 inch ball mill that we used. Okay, and it's have a flat area on the bottom of the tool, which would allow us to clear this area out. Okay, so what we're going to do though is we're going to go over, get past there, cut parameters. Let's look at cut parameters. Okay, okay, which just leaves that set a little bit slack for now so we can get to it quicker. And in this case, we're going to use a linear. It's just going to cut back and forth. Okay. So you might ask yourself, well, isn't that going to leave some cusping or some tool marks along that edge? No, because we're going to be using a cleanup path. So if we look at this little picture in the dialog, okay, so we're using a linear cut pattern, so it's just going to go back and forth, but we're going to use a cleanup path. So you'll see that it added a circle here. So consider this to be our core area. So what's going to happen is it's going to do parallel cuts, and then it's going to go and do a really nice cleanup around this parting plane. And that cleanup is going to be an accurate bitangent cut. In other words, the 1/8 inch radius on this cutter is going to be exact bitangent cut at this edge. Okay, and to also make it a little bit better, we're going to go over to the cut levels, and we're going to set a distance of 0.01, and we're going to tell it to use the distance as specified. So it's going to be exactly that. In roughing, if you don't use as specified, the actual last level might not be what you actually entered. It's depending how it calculates it out. So we got it set as specified. We're doing depth first, and here's where we're going to get interesting. So we're going to set a top. We obviously don't want to, this is not a re-roughing, okay? This is just a straightforward horizontal roughing, okay? So if I didn't use any top limitation, it would calculate the entire block. We don't want that. So we're going to set this to a value of 4.01. So 4.01, basically, if you think our axis here, our origin here, 4.01 is going to take that. That's not as high. That's a lot higher than I wanted. Let me save this a second. Let me take a look. Okay, that's what it was. So I didn't put my work zero in there. Let me put my work zero in. Okay. So here is our origin, okay? And looks like I'm going to have to redo these. Well, maybe not. Okay, I'm not going to recalculate those. That'll be fine. So our horizontal roughing node, we're going to go back into the horizontal roughing. Now, even though those are flagged, we already have it simulated. So if you're happy with the simulation for now, you don't have to go in and regenerate those. So we're going to leave it like that for now. Go back into the horizontal roughing, go into the cut levels. So for the top is going to be 4.01. Okay, and if you look at that, it should be a little bit above this plane right here. So for the bottom, we're going to leave it set to 4. Okay, so 4.01 and 4. And here we're going to use the clear flats. So what's going to happen here is that the flat of the corner radius mill is going to clear this flat area. The radius of the corner radius mill is going to finish this bitangent edge all the way around because we had the cleanup paths set. So let's look at what else we got set here. Okay, I think all that's okay. Advanced cut parameters. We do want to use some arc fitting. So that's 2 times. Let's see what we had for control or for cut parameters. Okay, this is finishing, so we're going to tighten it up. Typically, your default tolerance for horizontal roughing will be 0.01. We're going to make this 0.001. Okay, and we're going to have this set to 0. So we're using a horizontal roughing as a finishing operation. And if you've worked with our product a while, you'll know that there's a lot of different ways to use these different operations. So there's a lot of different things you can do. So we're using a horizontal roughing as a finishing, but not only as a finishing, but we're using as a I guess you could call it a pencil trace operation which is a higher level operation in the Pro configuration, but it's going to figure this out using a horizontal roughing operation. Okay, so it looks like all that is set. Good. We got the cleanup path set. Let's go ahead and generate that. Now we're running just a little bit over, but we're going to be done here in just a minute. Any questions, Joe?
Not. I mean, I've answered most of it,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I think
Okay.
nothing you need to talk about.
Okay. I want to get through this calculation of the horizontal roughing because that's the key part. It may take a minute.
Outputting post process at this point while it's doing that.
Yeah, we can post it out, I guess.
It's done, I guess, or no?
Yeah, it's done. So you'll see what it did is it looks like I had that as an offset. I meant to do a linear. That's probably why it was taking longer. I wanted a linear path, but I'll leave it at an offset path. But what's happening here is the flat of the tool. Let's go ahead and look at also, I want to look at this. So what you see here is we got 2 cut levels. This is our top, right? The 4.01, I believe it was. And this is our clear flat. So it's cutting in one level to get most of the material out, and then it's coming in doing the clear flat to get on the parting plane, but also, excuse me a second. But also a cleanup pass is going to do this by tangent. Let's go ahead and simulate that. Zoom out just a little bit. So here it's working its way in. And again, this is the finishing pass, so that is our parting plane. And it's working its way in, clearing out all this extra material we left. Okay. Sorry, that was the first roughing. This is the actual parting plane is cutting down. I think that is like an extra 10, 15 thousandths at the bottom, I believe. So it's cutting right up, and you may see it at the end. It will do one pass all the way around. It looks like it's working its way around now. Almost done. I could skip to the end, but I wanted you to see this simulation. So now it's going around, looks like it's doing its cleanup pass. And let's set this. Okay. So now you see you have a really nice tangent all the way around. So that's a good, very good example. If you do any kind of mold, you know that, everything else is easy till you get to the parting line, and then you got to, have special consideration when you cut that parting line. This is not, in this part, it's not so much of a parting line, but it's a parting plane where it intersects with the mold core itself. So Joe, I think that's it. We're in a little bit over, but not too bad.
Yeah,
no other
we
questions?
kind of skipped on a few things there. We kind of skipped on the 2.5 axis and posting and things like that, but I think we can pick it up on the next webinar.
Yeah, I can just mention
a little bit over.
I can just mention the
go ahead.
profiling. If you haven't done a lot of molds, if you're new to this, you may think, well, why don't I just put a profiling operation around there to clean that up? Well, the reason is that it's a bitangent. It's a contoured surface down. You have a contoured surface here. You got a flat surface there. Just putting a profile is not going to get this cleaned up the way you want it. So we did it actually the way that you really want to do it, and that's with the roughing. Okay, if you guys got any other questions, we're going to be sending this video out in a couple of days. If you have any other questions, just respond to us at support@MecSoft.com, and we'll answer those questions. Also, if you want the part files, we can send you those as well. Okay,
yeah,
thanks,
and also
everyone.
if you have any other suggestions on what you want us to do on webinars, anything specific you want to see, please go ahead and send that as well. So we'll be happy to entertain those. Thank you. Thank you all. Take care and see you next month.
Take care.
Bye-bye.